Holly Haven here.
And I'm Andy Haven.
And we are the Haven Home Team. And we are here to give you guys the March 2024 market update stats. And I found these pretty interesting.
Yeah, these are pretty much a good example of what we talked about last month, what we expected were going to happen. So we have good news for everybody.
Yeah, let's dive in. You want to start with Dallas?
Yes, so Dallas, we had an average list price of $786,000. That is up about $30,000 from last month. Our sales price to list price ratio is at 99.6. As you will see, a lot of our sales price to list price ratios did go up this month, which is great. That means we are pricing properties appropriately, and people are purchasing properties for the right amount. Yep. For days to sell, we are down to 37. This is amazing. Anytime we go down in days to sell, that means that properties are not sitting on the market too long. We are pricing them appropriately, and people are interested in the properties that are being listed. The number of new listings in Dallas is 1,600, which is great. The more properties we have on the market, the more options you have as a buyer. Expired listings, we had 1,276. This is up, but this is pretty common as we start to move into the summer months. People list in the summer, and then after a year, it does expire right before the summer. 4 months of inventory, very consistent over the last few months in Dallas.
Yeah, I think this really reiterates exactly what we said last month,
Yep.
What we expect coming in the next few months. We think we are having a little bit of a late start this year. Usually we are full force before March really starts. And this year we're kind of feeling like April and May and June. Mm-hmm. Usually we have a slowdown in June. I don't think we're going to have that this year. I think we're going to feel a little more pressure April, May, and June this year than we have in the last few years for sure. Now that we're back to more of a consistent market,
and especially as we get closer to Prosper and Celina, we are currently seeing everybody on Facebook. I need to buy in this neighborhood. Do you have anything available in this neighborhood? I want to buy next week. Like everybody is starting to really have a timeline. Yes. And I don't know if that's because of school. I don't know, but they're buying before school ends. So I don't know what is actually pushing them to do that. I think it is the interest rates.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a relief in interest rates. We expect to see that continue throughout the year. But guys, do not wait for that, because here's what we've been talking about. Now we have buyers diving back into the market because we had a little bit of a decrease, and we still do not have a ton of inventory, which means we are still in a seller's market. This is good for buyers. The interest rates are getting lower, but we are still in a seller's market.
Yeah, so last week I actually lost a buyer, competition. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we had multiple offers on a single property. We lost it with 5,000 over asking. Mm-hmm. Somebody had even more over asking, so I would imagine probably 10 or so over asking. And that was at a $400,000 price point. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah. That price point is picking up like crazy.
And that's a good price point for buyers right now, because we are feeling some of those homes actually come back onto the market that set for a little bit. We didn't have a lot of that the last few years. So it is a good time for buyers, especially those first-time home buyers. But we do need you guys to get off the bench and dive in, or you're going to be in super, super competition over the next 90 days.
And seeing a home before Saturday is highly suggested.
Yeah.
Because Saturday is when the competition hits. So.
Yeah, so don't wait for it to go to the open house and all 1,000 people walk through. Yep. I actually have an agent colleague listed her personal home in Prosper, had 68 people through her open house.
That's insane.
68 people, guys. This is COVID-like in some aspects. So we're just kind of giving you guys these little warnings, but we want to tell you what the data is telling us, so that it's not just us saying, go buy a house.
Well, and if you're a realtor that has a listing sitting, this is your moment to shine. Do an open house, have somebody else hold an open house, something to get those people through, because people are buying right now.
Yeah, we are, and we're seeing it at all price points. We recently, I know we mentioned we had some buyers over $1 million, multiple offers. We won that. Luckily, we closed. They're happy. They're moved in, and then we're in multiple offers at these $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 price points too. So this is really across the board right now for the very best homes. So let's jump into Frisco. Frisco is about the same as last month. $864,000 was the average list price. 99.4% sales to list price ratio. These are selling pretty much at list. Days to sell went down from 48 to 34. So guys, that's way pushing into a seller's market. Number of new listings was up a little bit to 341, but then we had a large number of expired listings, which was 304. So here's the thing. When we say, hey, we had 341 new listings, but we also lost 304 listings, our market is really just like staying at this level pace right now in all of these areas that we really focus on. So this is something we're kind of seeing across the board.
Well, and we can see that with months of inventory. We're still at 3. We've been at 3 for the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So.
And in our market, guys, even when we were pre-COVID, normal, stable market, 3-ish months is kind of normal for Collin County area, this North Texas area. But we're feeling the pressure right now with low inventory and buyers jumping in. So yeah, just keeps going. All right, let's talk about Prosper, Andy.
Yeah, so Prosper is hitting another all-time high. We are at $992,000 average list price in the city of Prosper. The sales price to list price ratio is up just a little bit, 97.6. Days to sell is a little bit down. It's at 60. It was at 69 last month. We have 132 new listings. That is up from around 100, so nothing too crazy, pretty consistent. Expired listings at 142, so we actually expired more than we brought onto the market. Yep. And our months of inventory went up, which is kind of convenient. The fact that we didn't even gain more listings, we lost more listings than months of inventory.
Yeah, so we're right at 4 months, 4 months in that realm too. So we say this every time, and we're going to say it again. New construction in Prosper and Celina skews our days on market, and it skews our list to sell price ratio. Yeah. So what we've been feeling the beginning of this year, from really November all the way through March, we were seeing some builders start to do some incentives, right? So they were taking some price reductions. They were getting a little bit negotiable. Maybe we're doing some upgrade bonuses. So that skews our numbers in Prosper and Celina a little more than Frisco and Dallas, where we have a lot more pre-existing homes that are reselling.
Well, and they have a lot of flips. They have a lot of much older homes, 70s, 80s.
Yeah, and a lot of rehabs and things like that happening in those areas. So Prosper and Celina, we're pretty much always going to see, until our build out is really done, we're going to see those higher days on the market. But this is still 60 days is still really, really low for an average. And Celina. So guys, it's up from last month about $60,000 on average list price. So we had an $809,000 average list price, 98.6% sell to list. Days on market went down to 48 from 63. So that is a fast-paced market. 157 new listings and 167 expired listings. So again, y'all see what we're saying. We're keeping these numbers about the same. And oddly enough, it does call our months of inventory went from 3 to 4. We kind of are staying right there on that range of 3 to 4 months of inventory. And the reason we use months of inventory is because when statisticians, never mind, the people that look at the stats, they want to know how many months of inventory we have before a home should sell, right? That's kind of where we look at, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? That 3 to 4 months is very firmly in a seller's market, which I mentioned earlier is kind of where we stay, but we're seeing that we're just kind of fluctuating right there on the bubble as we get some builder inventory and we have some pre-existing homes that are moving.
Yeah, our market is a little bit different than most other markets in the U.S. We are a booming market. Our market is on fire. We are growing drastically and crazy. We actually just went to a meeting for Celina ISD that was talking about the massive amounts of growth that are going to be happening over the next 5 years. And it was absolutely insane and mind-blowing. And if you're at an elementary school right now or want to move to a specific elementary school, probably shouldn't do that, especially in Celina ISD.
Just know you're going to be moved, you're going to be rerouted, rezoned.
Yeah.
They are growing at a crazy, crazy pace, and that's really good news. They're doing a good job of trying to manage that. But something they mentioned is they have some numbers that tell them by 2030 they could triple in the school district. Was that right?
Yep.
By 2030, they could triple the number of kids in the school district. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're moving to these communities. Give people a little grace, right? There is a lot of moving factors, things that have to happen in infrastructure and community needs and things like that. So we do have really great communities for anybody looking for a new home, whether it's a new home, a first home, maybe you're downsizing because those kids are about to go to college. Lots of opportunities.
Lots of townhome options in the area.
Lots of townhome options, which we have not had in recent years. So now we have townhome options. So guys, there is a ton of opportunity here in North Texas, especially around Collin County. So really, how can they find us?
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. We are the Haven Home Team. You can find us by our personal names on Instagram and Facebook, Andy Haven, Andy Cochran, and Holly Haven. And we will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, leave a comment below. Ask us your questions. We look forward to chatting soon. Bye, guys.